Welcome again, everybody. In this video I'm gonna share my thoughts after the first run of the Basher BZ-444 Pro 110 scale racing buggy. As you may seen in my previous video, I took the buggy out to a carpet track, to an indoor track, which was a carpet surface, and there was some jumps on it. And I have spent about a half day at the track and tested this buggy. So few thoughts about how the buggy runs. First of all, this is the 10.5T motor version, and it has a 21 teeth pinion inside this box. And with this gearing setup, this buggy is quite slow in the straights of the track. So I tried it, and I immediately changed the pinion to a 24 teeth pinion, because that was the biggest which I had. I tried the 24 teeth, and the buggy was still not enough quick, but there wasn't a bigger pinion with me, so I played with this setup. So if you buy this buggy, I suggest you to buy some pinion with it, and you can do experiments what pinion fits your needs the best. I think I will try a much bigger pinion. Around the next pinion I will try it will be, I think, 28. And if you experiment with pinions, you make sure you always check the temps of the motor, because if it's too hot, then you should gear down a little bit. With the 24 teeth pinion, the temps of the motor was around 50–60 degrees Celsius, so I think it should handle a lot more. So I will try it with a bigger pinion next time. The electronics was working fine. The ESC is flawless. That it's okay, nothing problem with it. The servo, I'm quite surprised of this servo, because it's a quite cheap servo, but it is very, very fast, and I can say it is strong enough, especially for this little buggy. So that is a very good servo. Most of the RTR cars or the ARR cars comes with a servo that usually you immediately need to change, because it's way too slow or way too weak. But this one is just perfect for this buggy. The motor also very good. It's a censored motor, by the way. So the electronics were good. After few laps, when I drive the buggy, I heard some weird noise from the front differential. I took it apart, and I realized that the screw which holds the diff pinion to the drive shaft was loosened, and fortunately I realized it quickly, and I took it apart and screw it back. So there wasn't a big problem. But if I haven't realized it very soon, or if I haven't realized it that quick, I think that would have been the end of my diff, my front diff. So just make sure you check all the diffs in this car and make sure that every screw is tightened to the shaft or the pinion, and of course you can apply some Loctite on it to secure it. So after I took it apart, I take a look in the front and the rear diff. The rear diff was fine, but I applied some grease on the gears because I didn't see much grease on the gears. So I suggest that you should apply some grease on the gears. Okay, then I went back to driving, and I think after 3 packs of battery, the center zipper clutch started to slip very much, and so much that the buggy was in one place, even if you pull the throttle. So I took it apart again, and there is a I don't know if you can see. There you can see. So if you want to tighten the center slipper clutch, you have to screw this a little bit. If you screw it clockwise, then the diff or the center slipper clutch will be more tight. If you screw it counterclockwise, then it will be softer. I tried to harden it, but there was no success at all. And I take a look at the outdrives, and it turned out that there are screws which hold the outdrives to the center slipper clutch, and one of these screws were loosened also. So I have to tighten it back, and everything was just fine. I think that was my two main issues with the buggy. But if you buy an RTR or ARR buggy, first thing you should do is to check all the screws in the car and make sure that they will not loosen during the run of your buggy. So that was my mistake, that I haven't looked for that loosened screws before I used the buggy. Other than that, it was very great to drive it. It's a well-balanced buggy. It turns just fine in the corners. The tires are a kind of soft compound. As you can see, the front tires, there are almost no pattern, at least in the outer side of the tire, so it wear off very quickly. And strangely, the rear ones are just like new, so there is minimal wear on the rear tires. What else I have to mention? When I came off the track, one of these screws were total bent, but I bent it back after it. So it must had a huge hit on it. But the shock towers are holding up fine. It's some reinforced plastic material, so it's quite strong, I think. You can imagine if a screw bent from a crash and there's nothing wrong with the plastic shock tower, it must have been strong. Here you can see some leaking from the diff. I'm not sure this is the diff oil or it's only the grease which I have put on the gears. Definitely I will check the diffs again, maybe in the next video, and I will look inside what's that. In the back end, I think it's another loosen screw. You only have to tighten it, so it's nothing wrong. The shocks are, I'm quite surprised that these little shocks are worked just fine, so nothing wrong with that. They are very smooth. Before my first ride of this buggy, I checked the shocks, and I find the front shocks in the front shocks there were too thin oil, so I changed the oil in the front shocks, and I refilled them with 1000 CST silicone oil, and with that little modification, the front damping got better. It's almost like the rear damping, so it's kind of same now. Out of the box, they were much quicker rebounding, so I had to change them. So the shocks are quite good, so there's nothing wrong with them. Another thing, I checked the shafts, the front shafts. As I mentioned, I had quite a few crashes and bad landings, but none of the front shafts were bent. As you can see, they are straight. What else? Let's look at the underside of the buggy, the chassis. As you can see, there is a normal wear on the chassis. Nothing serious. I think this plastic is quite durable, so there won't be any problem with it. The A-arms hold up also fine. There's nothing on it, so I think that's it for now. So that was my after the first run thoughts, which I shared with you. I hope you heard something useful. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please subscribe to my channel.